This video is going to feature this little alto saxophone. Now if you're old enough and ugly enough to remember the 1990s like this stupid head, you'll remember, although the 90s, to be honest, I can't remember much. It was a bit cloudy and a bit hazy, a bit too much partying, but what I can remember was that these alto saxophones, the Yamaha 23, were everywhere, especially in school bands and all these marching bands. You'd find lots of these altos because these were quite an affordable option back in them days. And if, you know, kids drop things like this, it wasn't so bad on the pocket to repair or to maybe even replace one. So that's probably why you had loads of these things everywhere. But now fast forward, it's 2026 and this is from the 1990s and it's still going very strong. It's here and it's an alto that I've literally just finished servicing today. I mean, like an hour or so ago. I haven't even tested it yet. So this video is actually going to be my test run of this alto. So the usual routine, I went through the alto, I stripped it down to a body tube, took away all the ugly, horrible pads that were in there and replaced them with nice, shiny new ones like this. And I give it a good scrub and a good wash because it was a dirty little fella and it needed all that, you know, the gunk that you get between the keys, that fluffy stuff. Yeah, it had all that stuff and loads of that what I call brass bleed, which is the green around the keys, which goes onto the old pads. So when you try to clean the ring of the pads, you get this nice green stuff all over your cloths. Very nice. So then I had to check all the mechanics of the instrument, make sure there was no sloppiness in the play. You know, things like the low B flat and the low B key. I'll try and wiggle them here and there's nothing. I'm literally shaking the saxophone and there's nothing, no movement there because it's nice and solid. I got rid of all that sort of stuff and then redone all the corks that were needed to be doing. The only one I haven't done is the neck cork because it's actually very okay. It's a little bit older, but it's quite solid. I mean, I might change it out yet. Actually, I probably will change it out, but that's just for cosmetics because actually it's working very okay. It was definitely worth doing it because the old pads were, what can I say, my favourite word? Horrible! It's got typical signs of wear and use from an alto consistent of that era, and overall it's actually in very solid playing condition and I'm quite happy with how it looks. I mean, a lot of people want nice shiny stuff. I don't care because I'm not shiny and nice. And okay, this is actually prettier than my ugly old head, but you know what I mean. Now the first thing to note, as with most of these Yamaha saxophones, is that key guard. Now check it out, it's got that big J shape. That's been consistent since the Yamaha 61 back in the 70s, and they've kept that similar design all the way through to nowadays. Now the C and E flat keys are very much like the Mark VI, and that's quite a good design. I like that particular feature. It's very comfy in that area. Now while I'm here, let's do my favorite little thing of rolling the fingers down the keywork. So here we go. Now isn't that a really nice sound? That's a very good sign, and I haven't actually played this yet. I haven't made any noise on it yet apart from that ringing sound of the bell. The body to bell brace is exactly the same design as they had on the old Yamaha 61s back in the 1970s, and they still use it now in the 280s. So yes, if it's not broken, don't fix it, keep the same design. The left and right keys have a very nice feel. They've got this what you call offset tone holes, so the left hand keys are in a straight line, the right hand keys are pulled a little more to this side, so it's a bit more ergonomically sound on your fingers. And that's one thing I can always say about Yamaha. No matter what saxophone model they make, the ergonomics are, in my view, second to none. They're really good. Everything just seems to fall right under the fingers. As with all Yamahas, the palm key layout, in my opinion, is so nice. It feels exactly right. I have no issues about that. I don't feel the need to put these horrible rubber things on top. You know, like some of you lot, you put these horrible rubber bumpers on there. Just learn to play the instrument as it is. Stop being lazy. The pinky key layout is very nice also, even though there's no rocking mechanism between the C sharp and the low B flat. It still functions very, very well and feels very smooth there. There's no stretching going on. It just feels like it falls right under that little pinky there, wiggling around. Now, talking about wiggling around, you know what's coming next. It's my friend, the little octave key. You know exactly what's happening now. And because this is a nice little Yamaha from the 90s, it's going to have a nice, sophisticated little wiggle. Here we go. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. So that was a quick look around the Yamaha. Now let's do the most important thing, and that's drink lots of tea. No, let's do that later. Let's do the second most important thing, and let's make a noise with this thing. And I'll catch you lot after the demos. Yet another solid offering by Yamaha. If you've got any comments, please write them in the section below, because as I've mentioned many times on my channel, I want this to be a back and forth between me and you. Make it as human and interactive as possible. Let's use it between me and you. Come on, let's have a good chat. Stick your comments in the section below. So my thoughts, well, think about this. It's 2026 and this is from the 1990s. So this little monster has stood the test of time, no problem. So if you get one of these things and it's in playing condition, or it's just been overhauled, for example, like this, well, you're going to have a saxophone that will last you for many, many years. That's absolutely insane, because I remember these being considered as, yeah, they were okay, something for the kids to play, that sort of thing back in the day. So when I break it down even more now as an adult, and especially as a professional saxophone player and a professional repair guy, well, I can see a totally different slant on this thing. These things are built like a tank and they are built to last, and the proof is now 2026. From 1996. That's quite a long time, isn't it? For a saxophone that's supposed to be just a student level instrument which will be bouncing on the floor in a marching band. Sound wise and tuning wise, this is better than a lot of, let's just say, boutique level instruments. And I'm not going to mention any specific French branded names. What could I be thinking of there? And I'm not a hater of them instruments, by the way. I just find them to be highly overrated, and the intonation and tuning can be a little bit sketchy at best. Anyway, going back to this little fella, these things have a great feel about them. They have a great sound about them. I would definitely use this on a pro gig without even thinking about it. I've actually used a tenor version of one of these on a jazz festival, and it did a fantastic job. If you get the chance to try one of these, you will be pleasantly surprised, because they are an absolutely wonderful alto to play. Now, if you're curious what my setup is, I'm using my Dukoff. It's a Miami-made Dukoff D8. And yes, these can be bright and powerful, but they can also be sweet. And because I had that in mind about the mouthpiece on here, that's why I played a bit more subtone and a little bit softer in the noodling around demo, just for you lot, to show a different side of this and this. But that's just my thoughts and views on this little fella here. The Yamaha 23 is a very good little alto. Thank you very much for coming this far. As I mentioned earlier, it's time for my number one priority, and that's my tea. It's officially tea o'clock. I'll speak to you another time. Have a great day. Dun 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 dun.